What's up, everybody? Welcome back. In the last video, you've probably seen me say that we have to make the worst car around the track, the worst car around on the drag strip, and the worst daily car, and we can only use modded vehicles. So today, we're going to be building that car. Now, I have 5 modded vehicles here. Now let's see which one would be. What is the project car? Alright, I mean, the GTR is all-wheel drive. Well, let's start from the very beginning. Mustang's rear-wheel drive, so that's something. It has tons of configurations. It has a decent-sized boot. So, it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot more practical. But it is an older model car, a 2000 model car. The Mitsubishi has a larger trunk, is all-wheel drive, and doesn't have too much power. So that's definitely the most practical car out there. So that's definitely not it. The GTR, it's all-wheel drive. It has a small boot. I think it's around the same as the Mustang, and it has a decent amount of power. But it's all-wheel drive, so I think it might do good on the drag strip. This one's a modern car. It has a decent amount of power. I don't know how big of a boot it has. The Golf definitely has a bigger boot, so this is my plan. I'm gonna find a crappy car, but then throw a ton of power in it so that it's gonna break the rear end loose constantly, so it can't get no traction and it cannot turn at all. So that's gonna be pretty bad around the track and the drag strip. So that's my plan. At this point, I think the Supra might have a little bit more electronic control. So I think the car we might be going for is the Mustang. So I think the Mustang is the car we're gonna have to go with. So now that we know that we need the Mustang, I'm gonna be right back once I find a suitable Mustang. Alright, so I've got the Mustang. As you can see, it is in pretty rough condition. There is no window. We don't even have a second side mirror. We are missing a headlight. We're missing the fucking windshield. So there's that, but most of the pieces are still in there. The engine is just an engine block, and there's nothing around it. So I'm gonna build the engine up for power, but everything else, I think we're just gonna have a donor Mustang just give us all the parts. So it looks like shit, at least. Or should we just go for all brand new stuff? I think we're gonna go for all brand new stuff, but I'm not gonna make you guys watch me redo the engine. I'm gonna put the Coyote V8 in it, just because I think it looks the best and it will perform the best. But yeah, we're just gonna go with stock everything, so it looks like shit, and we're just gonna be doing the engine. That's basically it. The bumper looks rusted out and everything, so I think this looks like a perfect car to work on. Alright guys, so I have managed to put the engine back in the car, put the Coyote engine. It looks so fresh. I managed to go with the most amount of horsepower, just so that the rear tires can't get any traction and we lose control. Then it'll be super bad on the drag strip and the racetrack. And it's not that practical because it is a gas-guzzling 5.4 liters Voodoo V8. So it's also not good on gas. There's not a lot of boot space. So yeah, practicality, not a whole lot. And also there's no wing, so even worse. The struts are stuck through the trunk. So that whole back section, you can't have any groceries, otherwise your suspension just will not work. It's not working right now because it's fucking rusty. But yeah, so only half of the trunk you can use. But anyways, got the engine in there. Now we just gotta make it run. And I'm gonna try and do that with all new parts because one, we also have to make this car as expensive as possible. And two, it has to be reliable so it doesn't break down in the middle of the drag strip. We have to do that as well. So I think new parts that support the engine is the better choice here. I'm not going to make you guys watch it all though. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the engine and all its equipment in there. Let's close the hood and let's see if she starts up. And yes, she does. Now, normally I would go on a dyno test and go to the track or the drag strip, but I'm actually going to save that for when we actually review it with BigShotChain here. I'm going to show him the dyno test. We're going to look at it together, and then we're also going to go to the racetrack and the drag strip together and see how they perform there. So that was my philosophy. Get a high horsepower engine, shitty tires, rear wheel drive. It's not going to get any traction, and it's going to spin out. So that's my idea. Obviously, if it spins out, it's not going to be a good drag car or race car. So that's my philosophy. And anyways, guys, I'll see you next time.